Hi everyone! Today's New Zealand FAQ answers the question, can I drive in New Zealand? I'm Jess from Sheldon and Jess TV, and if you are new here, consider subscribing to our channel. We do all kinds of cool travel videos, including FAQs, but also other stuff as well. So can you drive in New Zealand? Probably. There's no special permits that you need to drive in New Zealand if you have a full license from your home country or you have an international driver's license. The one small caveat to this is if you stay for longer than 12 months in New Zealand, you do have to get a New Zealand driver's license. So with the topic of driving, there are a few things that we think you should know about driving in New Zealand. Firstly, maps are super deceptive. New Zealand is extremely hilly and the roads are really windy, and so on a map, it might look like getting from A to B is only going to take you maybe an hour or two, but it might end up taking you 4 or 5 hours just because of the route that it takes you to get to that place. So a handy tip is to go onto, say, Google Maps or GPS and check your route, how long it's actually gonna take you. Because if you think you're only gonna drive for 2 hours and you have to drive for 5 hours, you may miss out on an activity that you had planned to do, or you might just get a little bit disheartened that you're so tired because you ended up doing a lot more driving than you thought you were gonna do that day. The next thing to know is in New Zealand, we drive on the left side of the road and on the right side of the car. And for some people, this is no big deal. You do that in your home country. But for people like me, who grew up driving on the right side of the road, this can be a big adjustment. And you will find that the first time that you turn a corner and you are in the wrong lane. Or when you go to get in the wrong side of the car, driver's side or passenger side for about the 10th time in a row. So kind of coming back to my first point about the windy, hilly roads of New Zealand, not only does this make the distance deceptive, it can actually be a little bit scary because a lot of the roads in New Zealand are also quite narrow. Now, people in New Zealand are really used to these roads, so they can go quite quickly, but if you are driving on the wrong side of the road and you're a little bit tired or you're just not comfortable driving in such narrow lanes, just take your time. It's better to be safe than sorry. The best thing that you can do is find a safe pull-off to let the traffic behind you get going if they're a little bit antsy and want to go faster. And lastly, New Zealand isn't like the scariest place to drive in the world, but if you're thinking maybe that's not the most comfortable or time-efficient way for you to do it, there's lots of other options for transport when you come to New Zealand. There's buses, there's domestic flights, and there's even trains in some parts of the country that will get you from one location to another. And another thing to take a complete load off your mind is to book a tour. Often they will arrange all the transportation for you, they'll pick you up at your accommodation and drop you off wherever you need to be. So long answer short, if you have a full driver's license from your country or an international driver's license, you can drive in New Zealand. But I hope that these other tips were really helpful for you as well and give you a little more understanding of what to expect if you're coming to New Zealand. We really hope that you find these FAQ videos helpful. Like this video, share it with somebody you might think will find it helpful also, and we will see you next time.